we need to get the bureaucratic control and regulations slimmed down enough so that we can allow oil drilling to happen, as well as at the same time become good stewards of the earth, okay? We need to have the safeguards in place, but not be so over-regulated that these people can't work. Putting a ban on oil drilling, that's not working for us. These people are going to leave and go somewhere else. All right, we've got millions of jobs out here that are going to just poof because of the federal government. Now, you know, could this be just the greatest thing that the federal government has seen? Was it their chance to really come in and shut down all the oil drilling? Yeah, I mean, this worked out very well. What a coincidence. There's some feelings about that, but no, you know, the federal government should be as an advisory board and bring in the resources. You know, if companies can provide the cleanup, that's what they need to do. They're being, you know, it's their fault, so clean it up. But definitely the local communities and volunteers, you know, get out there and help. Don't hinder. I mean, this is our American soil that, you know, our fish, our way of life that you're destroying. Get out of the way. You know, if you can't lead, then follow. You know.
I want to go back to the health care issue. Do you believe that our health care system needs to be reformed, and how would you do it? I mean,
wow.
We can't just retract Obamacare.
No, we can't. I mean, that's really put us into a quagmire.
There's desperate people out there that do need.
Absolutely. I mean, I've fallen victim to that. I mean, I've tried to start a company, and my wife got severely ill, and you know, I've got real into debt real quick. So I know I've been there. It's not like, you know, I've been blessed with good insurance all my career. It is a problem. You know, I think one of the things that we need to look at doing is torque reform. You know, we need to look at what we can do to bring some of the costs down so people can afford, you know, insurance. Maybe even some regulations on some of these insurance companies. You know, I don't know. I know right now that it is a mess and nobody can afford it, and not even the companies helping you with it can afford it anymore, you know. But we can't either. I mean, you know, we can't afford what is being proposed in here. So what do? You know, you try to look at some maybe regulations on insurance companies so that they don't just jack up prices and you know, this pre-existing condition. What a joke. I mean, you know, that's their way out card, okay? You know, that should be gone. You know, I mean, government does have some rules in providing regulations, and you know, we need to be fair. We need to let the market handle it as well too, because good insurance companies that will take on pre-existing conditions are going to start getting more business than those companies that don't. So, you know, the market system can actually start handling itself. That's not doing it today, because we've got too many federal rules and regulations in there. You know, the government should act as an overseer and maybe advisor. Then, you know, you can't do this, or you know, your doctors, you know, they can be sued, and they can, you know, yeah, they can be sued if they do something wrong. I mean, certainly you get the bottom of the barrel even in medical school. You know, and these people get out there and practice, but hopefully the market can take care of that too. You know, you're fired is a great pair of words I believe in.
Donald Trump.
You know, so does that, you know, it's not an easy answer, and there's not going to be an easy fix. I just know that we need to get rid of this and pick up the pieces if we have to. You know,
I think it seems to me that a big portion of the solution to affordable health care is actually to be achieved at the state level rather than the federal, because it's mandates that insurance companies have to cover stuff that you don't need. So that jacks up the price of a health insurance policy.
Exactly. And there's nothing wrong with Badger Care. I mean, for people that just got out of work, I mean, again, if we could put more money to the state, we can control things like that. But yeah, I mean, you know, as long as now Badger Care doesn't get overgrown and abused and everything else, it's there just for emergencies. And you know, people get back to work, get back on their feet and start buying some insurance and, you know, I mean, let's face it, I mean, you're too young, so you probably wouldn't remember this, but, you know, there's a lot of us here didn't have health insurance, you know, early on in our careers. We paid for a visit to the doctor, you know? So I don't know, does that kind of help?
If we could back up for a minute, because I'm not sure I caught something right. You said you don't think we can repeal Obamacare, or?
Oh, no, I think that we can.
Oh, okay.
No,
Then
I most
misunderstood.
definitely, and I'm certainly going to work on it.
Oh, okay, because it's my understanding the program is not going to cover those that fell through the cracks anyhow after this big snow job that we got.
Oh, it's amazing what's not going to be covered.
Okay.
I absolutely mean, between that and cap and trade, you can just about kiss your liberties goodbye.
So Obamacare, striking Obamacare, repealing it is on your agenda.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Again, you know, one of the things in my rule of law, number 3 on the plan, is that we have bills that are read one at a time, debated one at a time. That's transparent so that the American people can see it. We cannot have bills that have 1,500 pages that nobody reads and they're full of laws and stuff that, you know, before we know it, we don't have any rights anymore. We have to stop that practice. And that's one of the things that I plan on pushing through as a bill. Read the bill. That's what it's called. You know, and there's several of us that are working on that at that level. I mean, there's movements happening, just like your group right here. There's you know, constitutional groups that are actually working at putting the right procedures and policies in place so that when we do get the right power base in, these can be implemented. Okay, so there are people working for you, but you know, it's just going to take getting the right people to implement them. You know.
So you brought up cap and trade. Your thoughts on that, and Department of Energy, one of the.
That's another one of those departments that has to go. I did a presentation on the Department of Energy. You talk about, you know, you use this word quagmire. Good Lord. I mean, you know, the amount of money going into this. Does anybody know why the DOE was developed? To reduce our dependency on foreign oil. Back in the Carter administration.
That's right.
How's that been working for us? Huh? Right. I mean, I've got a chart of the Department of Energy, their departments. You would not believe this thing. I mean, it's incredible. They've got something like 120,000 employees. And God knows how many contractors working for them. And I'm still paying $2.65, $3 a gallon for gas, okay? And not getting any out of the Gulf and everything else. No, they have to go. So, but to answer your question, cap and trade, bad news all the way around. I mean, we're talking, you know, for a bunch of silly. All right, let me ask you a question real quick, and it's sort of going to answer yours a little bit. How many people are aware of Agenda 21? Do you know what that is?
I think that's if you want to sell your house, you have to make sure everything is up.
Well, that's part of cap and trade. But Agenda 21 actually is forcing what cap and trade actually is. Okay? Look it up. Look it up tonight. That's your homework assignment. Look up Agenda 20. It's a UN initiative. Okay? This stuff is very dangerous. Extremely dangerous. And cap and trade is one of the tools that they plan on implementing. Welcome to socialism. Okay? You can't sell your house unless you have all these appliance upgrades, drafts taken care of. I live in an old house. I mean, you know, I bought a nice, cheap little piece of property up there in Cumberland. I mean, I bought it because I like renovating houses. I'd never be able to sell this thing. It's so
Right now
full of
you
holes and, you know.
Gotta deal with radon and stuff like that right now too. Selling his mom's house.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's just controlled left and right. The amount of power. What I like to say about cap and trade is it is a civil rights violation. When you say civil rights, well, look at this. I got to make a decision on food, drugs, or heat.